food, sex, and death.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Food, Sex, and Death. This is Colin Bohannon along with my co-host. Live here in the French Quarter, we've got Lefty Lucy.
Hello.
Mike Polino.
Good morning.
And as always, the Pooch.
Yeah.
All right, guys. How's everybody's week going?
Fantastic.
Really great.
Really rainy, really slow, really shitty, hot. Sticky,
none of those
disgusting.
things sound fantastic.
in a gross way. That kind of fantastic.
I like summer in New Orleans only because, like, I am just a sweaty monster of a human being. And, like, you know, everybody in this city sweats because it'll be like 98 degrees, 91% humidity. So it's like oppressively hot. So everyone sweats. So I can just walk around and be like, I know it's hot, right? Because otherwise I wouldn't be sweating.
You can blend right in.
But like when I was living in Chicago, people would look at me and like, why are you sweating? And I just have to be like,
I was watching Cops.
because of bad decisions and I'm fat. But down here, it's the weather.
I don't mean to be kind of a prick, but I will point out that you are wearing a long sleeve shirt right now, and it's really not the season for that kind of attire. Right?
But he's
Look
also
how
wearing shorts.
This is the nicest I've seen Colin look in a very long time.
He looks dapper as fuck. It's
Yeah,
just not
girl,
the right
DAF.
season for, sleeves. That's all.
True.
Well,
It's not the season.
at least my shirt is buttoned to an appropriate level. Polino has...
Because her chest hair's popping out.
I'll make
That's
it worse.
appropriate.
Polino's a 1970s porn star. He can't button his top 3 buttons. It's a physical
I get a
impossibility.
rash,
He
okay?
actually has them removed from all of his shirts so that there's not even an issue.
Yeah.
I'll fucking do that, I swear to God.
I know you will.
I will have them surgically
I think that
removed.
it's actually started because one day a button fell off and Polino just went, fuck it.
You look like a dude that would give Crockett like a little bit more trouble than the lowest henchman, but a little bit of trouble. And he's like, this guy's kind of country. I got to switch it up, and like
Who the fuck's Crockett?
from Miami Vice.
Oh,
God.
I was like,
Yeah.
Davy Crockett?
That's what I thought too.
I heard Kraken and
Vice?
I was going in a totally different direction.
Whoa, the Kraken.
I was like, this is
Listen
the
off the-
chillest
like,
Kraken I've ever
Listen
heard.
off the Kraken.
I don't
The
know.
mythical marine creature?
That's the one.
Yeah.
One of my coworkers a couple weeks ago
Tentacles.
was like, why do you always look like an extra from the fucking Deuce? Like,
That show was on for 9 minutes, huh?
yeah.
What's his name? The guy from The Deuce.
James Franco?
Yeah, I like him.
I don't know why that's so funny, but it is. I like him.
Yeah, dude, I was on the road this last weekend, and I was sitting in my hotel just watching this.
Being like, I like James Franco. Just by yourself in a dark room.
Yeah, I was flipping through. I was flipping through like TV and like this like creepy like cartoon thing was on, and I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. And then Mila Kunis popped in, and I'm like, you have me intrigued.
And you're like, ooh, are these
And-
blinds closed?
And then James Franco, and I was like, I am in it to win it. and I watched the Incredible Oz Who Kills Everybody or something, where like James Franco is like this creepy magician. And
Oh, I
then
haven't seen that. I heard it was
and then
good.
it was great.
Really?
I enjoyed it.
I just get so offended that they try to fuck with the story of Oz. Like, if it's not a
Well,
dream.
you know that Oz is like a
Then it's
whole
just-
series of books.
I know,
like
but
it's a
just-
huge world. It's
a little
not
lame,
just.
I think. Like, I don't know. I like the completeness of the original piece.
But that's just one of the original piece was just one.
I
of the
think
books.
Wizard of Oz is, I don't like
I
it.
just. Still
The original Oz, like Frank Baum wrote a number of Oz books. And I'm not talking about the Oz spin-offs.
But this is a continuation of one of those.
Yeah, I think
thought-
so.
The James Franco one.
I thought this was one of.
Yeah, so it's like-
Frank
The other
Baum's
ones, like
original
they had to lighten
stories.
it up a whole lot when they made the movie. They're like, that's too fucking dark for children. Like we gotta.
Yeah,
It's
no.
all pretty dark.
Sure,
He
it
had
up a
like,
bit.
like there's an entire book he wrote just on Glinda. Like there's like entire like there's a
Is that
whole
the-
world of Oz books. Like there's a bunch of Harry Potters. There's a bunch of Oz books, all written by.
I mean, I guess I just saw The Wiz and I've been weirded out.
I love The Wiz. It's so creepy. Oh my God.
It was.
I lived down the street from where Dorothy lives in that movie. And that movie happened to come. No, in The Wiz with fabulous 70s pop star.
Diana Ross.
Thank you.
RuPaul.
No, she's a fabulous 90s pop star.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Diana Ross, like her family lived on Prospect Place, which is a street that I lived on the day that I saw The Wiz when I moved in, and I was really excited because I was like, "That bitch lives on my street. This is The Wiz Street." And also, it's a great film is so well designed. making every part of Oz like a New York City landmark. It's pretty magnificent.
I need to watch The Wiz again.
I don't know. It didn't do it for me. I like the original Wizard of Oz.
I felt like nobody beats
lot.
The Wiz. You know what I mean? So like, how can it
Touche.
be better?
Yeah.
Nobody who wasn't from the Northeast gets that reference, but it was like a Radio Shack type place called The Wiz.
It was. I bought a boombox there once.
Yeah,
It was fucking fly.
it was the '90s and things were different.
I was after I had a high top fade, but I did have a high top fade.
Prove it.
There's photos. We're not going to pull them up now, but they exist. And I danced the Running Man.
Can that
and I
be
did
the
all that
photo
shit.
for this
Yeah.
episode of the podcast?
Did you break dance?
Just all of us in the 90s?
I did, yeah. I did breakdancing.
I used to
shit.
breakdance,
like,
too.
I was really fat, so it was like a chunky dancing, but
Right.
I could keep a beat. I'm a musician. It's fine.
Dude, I feel like we would have been the best dipshit breakdancing duo. Fuck. My cousin was the third best theremin player in Argentina for a while.
See, that's badass. Theremin is some badass shit. Have you guys seen the Theremin documentary?
What's theremin?
I'd love to
It's
digress.
that air instrument that you just gotta wave your fingers over. And
Have you
make
guys
it
seen the
sound
fucking
nice.
documentary about this instrument?
Yeah.
Okay, so theremin is here in like the fucking 30s or the 40s or some shit, and he has his little orchestra. He makes a chamber orchestra of theremins.
Oh, it's a guy.
No, a theremin is an instrument created
Yeah.
by theremin.
Yeah. So theremin is this dude. He makes his box. He has his little symphony or whatever. It's like 4 or 5 people, and then the Russian government's like, "Say that's a Russian name," and just jacks him, puts him in a fucking prison lab and makes him invent shit for them. So he invents the bug for the KGB and all this crazy like spy shit. Then they release him back into the States, and it's fucking amazing. It's a great documentary to see.
You wouldn't think, like, you're a very talented musician, Pooch. I've seen you play many times. You're you're excellent with mixing and all of the shit, right? But that doesn't mean that you can just go create a fucking microwave in somebody's basement. Like, how did they were like, you made an instrument. You're gonna
He made
make
an
us
instrument you play with the air.
manipulates air
It was
and
like
It's
pressure.
the
science
most
shit.
futuristic looking shit and sounding shit at the
Yeah,
time.
like
You know,
imagine you just like waved your finger over this table and sound came out.
Yeah.
Like that's
It's
literally
like all
what a
the old
theremin is.
sci-fi, like
Is it like the
flying
thing where like
saucer
you
noises.
go over the?
Just think of it like a.
No, you don't even make physical
what it
contact
sounds
with
like.
it.
and when you see people
flying
play
saucer.
them, it's crazy.
I am going to look this up post.
We'll show you
I want to
something,
buy a
yeah.
theremin. I want to buy a theremin. I want to play with my penis. It's going to be great.
Okay.
I won't be borrowing your theremin if I need to do some tracks. So that's good to know.
You'll forget.
You're gonna have
Are you
to
gonna
get a
have a
stand
little
custom
denim coat
made.
just for the theremin as well to match, and then dress it in a ritual.
Yep.
Nice.
It's going to be so
Put on a
creepy.
little Sonny and Cher, I went on a fucked up internet date, and I do want to talk about one part of it that was really weird, which is like at some point we did make out, and it felt weird to try and make out with her without asking her first in the wake of the Me Too movement or whatever. So I literally had to stop and be like, "Is it okay if I try to make out with you?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, cool." And that was really emasculating and kind of lame for me.
I've told you my theory of seduction. Vampire rules, right? Just treat
You have to be invited
make
in.
them
Yeah, you got to
suck
be
your
invited.
blood?
No, you got to be invited in. Like just like old timey vampire rules. You can't be like, "Yo, can I come in?" You'll be like, they've got to invite you across the threshold. Like my penis is a vampire, and you'll never get in trouble or like violate anybody's boundaries.
Your
Just
penis is
err on the side of vampire rules.
Oh, we got
you
the
know?
name of this week's podcast.
That's good. Thank you, Mike.
No problem.
That's
Penis
good.
is-
And it works. I'm
vampire.
I'm super paranoid about that. You know what I mean? Like I don't fuck drunk girls the first time.
So that makes it okay.
Yeah, well,
Unless you're
all right.
drunk.
No, all right, this is going to come off the wrong way if I don't explain this. But, like if someone's like, all right, for example, I had one of my regulars at the bar. I walked her home like a month and a half ago, whatever. And she was like, "Hey, do you want to come upstairs and have the sex?" And I'm like, "Yeah, definitely. But you're fucking hammered drunk, so I'm not going to do it. Like, give me a buzz next week if you want to hang out. Totally into it. But not going to do that because you're too fucking drunk to have any actual consent. You know what I mean? But like if you have like an established thing with somebody, like it's not like you're never gonna have drunk sex because drunk
I
sex
have
is super
I have a
fun.
protocol for
but
this.
you've got to have like a sexual rapport first.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just not saying fuck blackout drunk people. I'm saying like we're both kind of tipsy. Let's go act weirder than we normally act while we're naked. You know,
Totally.
because there's no.
Equal amounts of drunkenness.
Right,
Or
exactly.
sobriety, as the case may be.
If they're that drunk, I just roll a joint and they'll pass out, obviously, and then I go sleep on the couch. And then if we have sex
Oh,
in the
I've done
morning,
that loads
cool.
of times.
That's my move for that. Because, you know, I don't want to sexually reject anybody, so that's the easiest way to do it. I can outsmoke most motherfuckers. You know, whatever, not a problem. But yeah, you know,
I just lay out more booze, and I'm like, you sleep in my bed, tuck you in.
Yeah,
it could totally be gross in the morning if you want. Drink some water.
pretty much.
So I went on a date. This is a few years ago with this girl, and we were watching. We were like in a theater, right? And we went. We
Do you
like
have
went.
a vampire dick as well, or is this?
No, this is a
on
completely
another-
different story.
More of a chupacabra cock.
So we went. Yeah. So we went. We went. We had some drinks, and we were. Then we went to see a movie, right? And like we're in the theater, whatever. And like I thought I was being charming. I said something like, we were like talking. We were like really close, like face to face. And I was like,
Hey, we grab me some popcorn.
and like I thought I was being charming. And I was like, I think we should make out. What do you think about that? And she was like, I totally would have done it, but like now it's not romantic. Like you don't just say that. And I was like, and
See?
this, you know, but
It's
then,
emasculating.
But then I was just
It
like,
is.
oh well, okay then. And then we just sat in silence
No.
and watched the movie. And then like at the end, it was like at the end of the movie, it was like, all right, well, have a good night. And then we just like went our separate ways.
Yeah, no, there are definitely things that people say that you're like, you just put a damper on that. But I think that is a cop out. I think she didn't want to make out at all because like
That's fine.
Because like if she did want to make out, like a second after saying that, she would have been like, that was stupid. Let's just make out. Like because like basically she was just being a dick. Like
She kind of
like,
sounds like an asshole for sure.
Because I've definitely like I've had guys, and actually it's happened more over the last like 5 years than previous in my life because of the Me Too movement, because of all that shit. But like where I'm with guys who are very like making sure things are consensual every step of the way, and it's jarring, but not because it's not awesome. It's jarring just because it's like
Because you're not used to it.
there's not like that kind of dialogue set up for people who don't really know each other very well to like get busy, you know? So when someone is like respectful and you're like, wait, this is just a hookup, but you're being respectful, it's like, oh, you're a little like, oh, I still don't have to call you tomorrow and you're still going to make sure that I'm into this? Neat. Like it's a new brave new world for women.
I actually had like a minor argument with my Uber driver today. I don't know how the fuck it happened. He was this just dipshit who like was saying some kind of like I was half asleep, but it was being kind of gross. I'm like, yo man, if a woman wants to have sex with you, she'll fucking tell you. It's just that simple. Like I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know?
Says the guy with the vampire dick. I mean,
Yeah. Also, vampire rules, man. They fucking work. Except like I'm the one
is this
doing
like
the
old
staking.
school
You know what I
New
mean?
Orleans, like Brad Pitt style, like Interview with the Vampire?
No, it's more like Jim Jarmusch, Only Lovers Left
Buffy the
Alive, Vampire.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hipster
like-
deep cut.
Like nerding out and vinyl only, and yeah, some drowny shit, and we're gonna get our hair.
Why are you
perfect.
wearing gloves in
Gotcha.
the summer? Well, here's the thing.
All right. At
What's
least you're
the
repping a
answer?
set, you know.
What's the answer to why are you wearing gloves in the summer? Like what's
Vampire.
like
I'm a
what's the thing?
vampire and the sun will turn me to dust. so-
Yeah, because like, one of like the minutia things in the movie is like all the vampires like wear gloves because they can't fucking touch people or some shit.
So you said minutia.
Probably misused it.
No, totally accurate usage. But yeah, minutia. So I was dating this girl. This is years ago.
Named
and-
Minutia?
No, her name was Lara, and she. And one day we were talking. I was like, "Well, I don't really want to get into the minutia of it." And she was like, "You're kidding, right?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "It's pronounced minute." And I was like, I was like, "Oh, you're joking, right?" Because like we always used to do this thing where like people would be like, "Oh, you know, there were 2 ambulances driving by," and then you know I'd always say like, "Oh, it's ambuli. How embarrassing for you," you know? So I thought she was kidding, right?
She wasn't?
She wasn't.
Oh, man.
Then we had to go to like Google Speak, and it was like minutia. She was like, "Dude, I've been saying minute for years to the point where like I correct people when they say minutia."
I wonder how many people are walking around being like, "Oh,
Doesn't the date end then?
Right.
If it's like, that's not good. To,
I
to
mean, we were
breed with
living
her.
together,
Oh, okay.
so it was like
Your girlfriend?
I was in at that point.
I just love how like she wasn't into like the minutia of pronouncing minutia.
There it is.
Fucking great. Not really the minutia of pronunciation.
Minute.
you know?
How embarrassing for you.
I've got a friend of mine that's like, he's a very nerdy, super genius, kind of weird Midwest metalhead guy, and he joined the army.
Those are a lot of
Yeah.
like conflicting
You know I
adjectives.
could hear you.
He's
Bruce,
a
right?
weird, independent kind of guy, and like when he got in the army, I was like, God, you're like, why would you do that? Like, and he was in it for a while. He called me up. I'm like, so like, do you just feel smarter than everybody that's there? And he goes, dude, I used the word minutia in a report, and the captain didn't know what the word meant. So I was on some sort of fucked up punishment for like 2 weeks. What? And I swear to God, that fucking word, minutia. And he's like, I totally used it right. You could just Google it. I don't understand why he got so fucking pissed off. I was like, whoa.
Maybe he thought it was a militia and like was like, "What are you suggesting?"
Minutia. Yeah, it's a scary sounding word. You know, it's not fuzzy.
Come on, Zed. Meet at the barn at 3 p.m. Grab the militia. We're getting our things ready.
We're going minutia you. Tim, we can't minutia you no more.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, it's minute.
We're going minutia you and get a gyro.
We're talking about how Nikki at that store always judges me for my poor life choices. She'll be like, by yourself today?
Oh, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, she has like.
Oh, you no drink today.
Oh,
Thank you, Nikki.
good for you.
Yes, I'll have 7 Powerades still. Thank you. Would you please get some more apple juice?
God, I fucking hate it when they get judgy at the goddamn bodegas, man. I used to flip out kind of in Brooklyn because they try to fuck with you when you're stoned, like you're, you know, gonna be like Bill and Ted or some shit, and I would be like, dude, I come in here every day, I just get my little things and I leave, right? And they're like, yeah, it's like, I could smoke all the weed in the world and I'm still gonna be smarter than you. So you can keep talking shit, or we can just have the transaction and be done with it.
Do you want my 99 cents for my ramen?
Yeah, seriously.
fuck
Like, let me get my ho-hos and move on with my life. But yeah, it would work, you know. We just have it out one time and it's fine. I feel like I have so much balls to talk to people when I'm drunk, and when you're stoned at first, it doesn't feel like comfortable. But you're not going to say anything as dumb when you're stoned as when you are drunk. You know, it's just like this thing in your mind.
I feel like I can say dumb shit in any situation, Pooch. I don't know.
I have seen you do that. Yes,
I
and
believe
I'm not
in you,
doubting
Polino.
that. Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm stoned and I'm like at a restaurant or something, like I just laugh uncontrollably, and then when they try to take my order, I just like the thought of like ordering a milkshake is the funniest thing in the fucking world to me, and I can't get it out. They're like, "Hey, dude, I've got 9 tables. Like, fuck off." I'm like, I know, but hold on. Can I get a milkshake?
Watch out, the boys are in the yard. Hold on.
Okay. A chocolate milk. Like, I'm a fucking idiot.
Fuck, no, I really want a
And
chocolate
then you pass
milkshake.
out on the table, right?
Always. I smoke weed and go immediately to sleep.
Oh, me
it's
too.
like a race to see how much I can eat
Before
I
you fall
pass out.
asleep. I'm
Yeah.
the same way. And also, any interaction with people, I'm just like, yeah. Just like I'm a fucking
Don't you guys like having sex while stoned? I mean, that's, you know, that's nice
Yeah.
for me.
Sure.
not too stoned.
Oh, yeah, I'll go like Bob Marley style. I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just how you live your life.
It is.
Yeah, we function on a different plane, Pooch, than these two when it comes to being stoned. We use
We'll
weed.
outdrink you.
You will outdrink me.
Nowadays, yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm in like the Michael Jordan on the Wizards phase of my alcohol career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where I'll drop 50 once in a while, but like I need to ice my knees for a week after.
Is that when
Like I'm coming off the bench
Yeah,
scoring
dude.
12 points. Like I'll hang, you know.
Yeah.
Throw me in for key points in the game, but like I am not carrying the team anymore.
I feel like you're more like Michael Jordan when he played minor league baseball. Like that's where more, you know, just kind of hanging out. You got some gum, your hat's there, you're in the pit with the dudes.
But like, everyone knows you shouldn't really be there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the vibe.
The word girlfriend bothers me a little bit
Why?
because it sounds so like childish. I always say like lady friend or special lady friend or whatever, you know?
Which doesn't. I'm totally with you.
That
It doesn't
sounds
necessarily
like
sound
you have an
better.
arrangement. That
But then,
sounds
like,
worse.
you don't want to use the word partner because then you start feeling like it's a political
Right.
agreement and then you're like, but
Why don't
I
you
care
just
about
use
this
her
person. I
name?
need to identify because sometimes you want people to know
Ownership?
that a person has value to you in a different way.
She's not my girlfriend. She's my goddamn lady friend.
Right. I'm trying to help her conceive, dude.
Yeah, girlfriend sounds like, oh, well, you guys are in love. What are you gonna do?
Right.
We could go to
Dude,
prom together.
no.
Shut the fuck up and grow up.
Right, but
asshole.
I'm 34 fucking years old. I feel like I shouldn't be using the word girlfriend unless I'm making fun of a child.
I
You know what
definitely feel
Like-
whenever I use it, I'm like, I'm gonna blah 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 with my boyfriend. Like I can't not say it that way because it's so like
Right.
I feel
silly.
different. I feel like marriage frightens me so much. I like the distance from it. I like having a girlfriend and not having like a wife. That scares the shit out
I
of me.
feel like if
What's
I had
the
a
other
husband,
opposite,
I'd be
man?
cool calling them my partner. But when calling someone my partner when they're my boyfriend sounds too.
I think though it's not like I think the point is that it's the verbiage, not like the actual. You know, like,
yeah, it's not my
yeah.
man friend. Oh, I kind of like my man.
Gentleman
friend,
suitor,
actually.
gentleman caller.
Gentleman caller. Yeah,
They sound
'Cause
like
lady
prostitutes
friend,
then, or that you have an open relationship, guys. Sorry, my lady or man friend. It sounds weird.
Yeah.
I special lady friend, my lady friend. I think
my
sounds fine.
exclusive fella.
Because my lady friend got really mad at me that I called her my lady friend to somebody. She's like, I thought I'm your girlfriend. And I'm like, yeah, that word sounds stupid to me.
Also,
But lady
your
friend
girlfriend
sounds different.
is like just legal, so like it's more appropriate. Like you were just about to be in.
That's not fair.
You were just
not
about
fair at all.
You were just about
totally legal. Jesus Christ.
You were
Yeah,
just about
just
to be in
over the
high
line.
school when
Fuck,
she was
come
born.
on. So what? I mean, how old is she? 23?
Almost 24.
See? That's fine.
when you're still using almost to tell someone's age, Michael,
Fuck you guys.
23 and a half, guys.
23 and 3/4. Jesus.
You might as well have just been like, she's this many. Like,
Well, she's not hearing this episode.
oh, anyway, so her gyno said that you've got a dirty dick.
It's a good thing
Wow.
you have friends.
Yep.
No, so she was at the lady doctor for her lady bits.
Because she's your
And
lady friend.
They were talking about my dick, apparently. And I'm not circumcised because my parents didn't want to butcher my dick when I was a child. And
Good on them.
apparently that came up.
That's
And she's
awesome.
like, well, make sure that he washes his dick thoroughly. She comes back and tells me that. I'm like, have I not been? I mean, you watched me like Simonize that motherfucker like 2 hours ago. You know, what the hell? No,
It's-
I'm offended because I feel like people assume that if you're uncircumcised,
As-
you've got a dirty dick.
As a woman who has slept with a variety of men who are uncircumcised,
Gentlemen callers.
gentlemen callers.
Yes.
She's had a variety
I just
of
want to know,
serves.
how does this come up at a gynecologist?
I don't know,
That's
and I
what
could
wanna
not
know.
get a
That's
good
like
answer.
101. That is the 101.
Really?
Yeah. If you say you're sleeping with someone who has an uncircumcised penis, they're going to be like, okay, just make sure that he's cleaning it thoroughly.
Really?
Yeah, because
Really?
that shit will get up in you. Y'all, we have very delicate systems.
I just love how the answer, like the most, like, because this circumcision is a lot less prevalent in other parts of the world, right? It's so weird to me that in America, it's like, you know, rather than teach them how to wash their dick, just cut it off. Just lop that skin off. Fuck it.
It was
I'm against it.
It was for the Lord.
I wish I could go back in time and reclaim my foreskin. It's fucking bullshit. Yeah, I wouldn't do it if I had a kid, and I wish that I had the skin back because that's a really sensitive part of my body, and I wish I had more of it. That's all.
I can't
Honestly, like, I could clean
believe
it. That wouldn't
someone
be an
makes
issue.
that choice about someone's body so, like, casually. It's
I don't know.
crazy.
I just want to go back to how I have a very clean dick.
Certainly. Yeah, wow. He has
I
a
don't know.
tiny, he has a tiny loofah with a tiny bottle just separate for his dick.
He's like, I just want to
I mean, I don't know,
reiterate
both
that
you fellas.
that my very clean penis is enjoyed by my very legal girlfriend. Lady friend, sorry. I find it easier to have sex when you're not clothed.
That does help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Also,
Indeed.
I had that happen to me though. Can't I just get in the shower or two? Because I've had a couple girls be like, "Wait, before you fuck me, I've had a long day. I've worked or whatever." Like, just hop in the shower for a second, but then there's a halt, and you're just there with an erection for a couple minutes. And it's weird because
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that time. I'd rather be in the shower with her,
Well, that was
helping
my
with the whole thing.
Well, that's the thing. Oftentimes we'll be like, "Oh, cool, I'll jump in the shower with you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if not, then you're
Look how
clean.
well I wash my dick. This
Right.
is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a lot.
I too would like to be clean. And I think most women will respond well to you being like, I would also not like to be disgusting.
But also,
for
it's
you.
worse like when you're in the shower with a woman, you're like, you didn't do a very good job. You know? That ever happened to you guys? Where you're in the shower with somebody, you're like, that was a C effort at best. You know?
I had a girl be like, "Oh, do you want to shave my vagina?"
No.
I was like, "No, that is terrifying. What if I cut it? Like, I want no part of that." And then she was like, "Okay," and she was just like, "Whack, whack, 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 whack." And I was like, "Oh my god, I shave my fucking face with more care. What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I do this like every day." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I shave my face every day. It's like a fucking, but I like take time because if I nick my face, that shit'll bleed for a week. Like,
I don't know. Is it just.
We're used to it bleeding for a week.
oh,
Yeah. Never raw dog the vegetables. Yeah.
what does that mean?
I raw dogged some lettuce the other day on purpose. I was like, I hope you all fucking die.
Oh, dude.
What does that mean?
It's not you all. It's you that dies.
What does
though.
that
It wasn't for
mean?
me.
I think we established in
You're a
an
giver.
earlier
Gotcha.
episode that it's when you don't rinse something off.
properly? Yeah.
Called raw dogging the vegetable.
Yeah, you gotta wash your vegetables. Speaking of washing vegetables,
Scrub your dick.
We got the food in.
Oh, but you know, I was hooking up with a weird rave chick for a while, and she went to like a 3-day fucking rave. Came back and wanted to hook up and was like sweating out LSD and Molly and all this stuff. I was like, you know what? Let's take a shower. Wouldn't that be nice? And I just kind of scrubbed the shit out of her, you know. And then we had sex after that. But that was really, really like gnarlier than normal BO.
oh, that's the worst one when you've been on like a terrible bender and you're like, oh my god, I smell like a fucking like a drugged out hobo in a petting zoo. Yeah,
But that's always when you get laid.
it is.
Girl, I'm gonna make you pheromone.
Oh god.
I know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Eat, Pray, Death. As always, kill them all and let God sort them out.
Food, sex, and death.